The fastest way to earn your first $100,000 as a professional speaker is not to go promote yourself because you're not recognized in the marketplace. And speaking is a referral-based business across the board with almost no exceptions. So how do you get referred if you're not a known speaker? You don't. That's the point. What you want to do is go and sell for another speaker. Speakers that are successful are getting referrals, leads in all the time of different caliber, and you learn the business by selling for another speaker who already has a track record in corporate America, or in the public market, or the association market, or all three, or two of the three, whatever. And now you'll learn how to sell. The speaker will help you as well, and you'll learn the techniques and how this business actually works. That's the fastest way to get to $100,000. In 1996, that was my first year in the speaking business. I didn't know any of this. Okay, there's always all these people out there trying to sell you get rich quick schemes and programs for high ticket money, and they don't work. I mean, they're just sexy sounding. Building a business is not sexy. It's messy. And you've got to really want it badly. Otherwise, you're better off just going to get a job. Frankly, there's nothing wrong with having a job. But if you're going to get in this business, you have to realize you're not applying for a job at Home Depot. Nothing wrong with Home Depot. It's not a job. It's not a linear business like selling ice cream or aluminum siding or cars or homes. It's just not linear like that. You know how many real estate agents there are in America? Millions. You know how many people sell cars in America or around the world? Millions of people. Okay? It's a linear business with a system. Okay? It's people need cars. There's all kinds of reasons that it's linear. I won't get into that whole thing. But the bottom line is the speaking business is a highly unusual, business. If you're a celebrity, it's a completely different business. If you're a non-celebrity, like me, the only people that know non-celebrity speakers are people who buy our books, go to our speeches, and they're on our fan base, basically. For the rest of the world, we're non-celebrities. So a business that pays $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 an hour is a little bit of a trick. Can it be done? Yes, we do it all the time. Okay, speakers do it all the time at the top level, but it's not something that's that easy to do. It is a specialized field, which is why thousands and thousands, tens of thousands, as a matter of fact, they say up to 50,000 people a year in the United States alone attempt to become professional speakers, and almost none of them make it. Is it because they're not good speakers? Some of them, a lot of them aren't. They're not professionally trained. They don't know what they're doing on stage. They go on stage one time, they get paid a nominal fee, or they do a free speech. Everyone realizes they don't know what they're doing, and they never get paid. Okay, that does happen. But the number one reason is not that. The number one reason is they don't understand the business. You can be a great salesperson, you can be a great business person, and get killed in the speaking business. I've watched it for 25 years. Okay, I was one of them. In 1996, as I started to say a second ago, I lost $50,000 my first year just scrambling around trying to build a speaking business in linear fashion. It's a non-linear business, okay? It's based mostly on credibility, skills, background, and some other things. But it's not a normal business with a normal product. See, in this business, the product is you, your solutions, your ideas, your points of view. Well, that's non-linear just by nature to sell, because you've got to take all those things and formulate them into a packaged solution that organizations or people or both will buy. That's not that easy to do. But if you spend your first couple of years, 3-4 years, let's say, maybe 5 years, selling for another speaker, you'll learn the lay of the land. You won't spend 25 years trying to figure it out or buying all these programs that people have. Okay, my first year, again, as I started to say, I lost $50,000 just chasing my tail because I didn't know any better. The second year, I sold for Bill Gove, the father of professional speaking. In the 5 years I sold for Bill, I sold more Bill Gove products and programs than anyone did in the last 50 years before me. So I was successful doing it. Why? Because I'm such a great salesperson or such a great business person? No. He had a system that he had learned over a period of time, and I used that system to sell him. I just worked a lot harder and a lot more hours than any of his other people in the last 50 years, so I sold a lot more. But it was the same system. And then Bill passed away after 5 years, and I had been selling some of my things within that process of 5 years, but then of course when he was gone, I went full-time into my own business, and I was in 7 figures almost immediately because I knew how to sell. I understood the business. I knew the ups and downs. I knew where the bodies were buried. That takes a lot, okay? So if you want to know the fastest way to do this, I know this isn't sexy. I know this is not what probably, most people don't want to hear this. They want to say, hey, I want to be a speaker overnight in the first year. I want to make $100,000. And you know how many people do that? Almost no one. Now, they won't tell you this in these programs people have. Okay, they'll go, oh, no, we 80% of our clients are getting on stages all over. They're getting fees. Yeah, I know. And I believed things like that, when I was 15 years old. But then I grew up and I realized that there's a lot of charlatans out there that are trying to sell you a lot of things, okay? Now, we have a program, for example, the Speaker's Apprentice program, that is the real deal because I sell the program for them with them watching me, listening to me. Then we go do the program. I bring them on stage. I brought people on stage in front of 10,000 people before. Over many times, as a matter of fact. I've created million-dollar speakers, multi-million-dollar speakers through my Speaker's Apprentice program. This is not necessarily a promotion for Speaker's Apprentice because very few people qualify for that program because I'm actually doing the work with them. So that I can only take a few people, and we're pretty tied up at this point. But my point of it is that a program like that is a one-off. There's nothing like that out there because there's not a speaker in this business that's crazy enough to put a new speaker on stage. I do it because Bill Gove did it for me, and if Bill Gove wouldn't have done it for me, I would not be a multi-million-dollar speaker today. Bottom line, just no. I'm getting too old for BS. It's just that's just the way it is. So bottom line. And that's true in most people's cases. But the bottom line is if you can connect with a speaker you really believe in that's good, that's willing to teach you a system, and you go in on commission or you go in on a salary commission split or whatever it is, and you learn, even if you've never sold anything in your life, and you learn the speaking business, believe me, this business is different than, it's different than any other business you have ever seen in your life. Okay, this is the same thing as going to Hollywood and saying, here I am. I'm here, Hollywood. I know there's 500,000 of you trying to get acting jobs, but I was really great in the high school play, and even in college, they loved me in the theater work I did, And good luck. You're most likely, there's a 99.9% chance you're going to be waiting tables or doing some other job while you're trying to go to auditions and do that. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's fine. But the odds of you making $100,000 a year as an actor it's just almost unheard of. Then you have a few people, of course, that make all the money and they own Hollywood. That's exactly the same way the speaking business works. That's why you hear the same names over and over. You ever wonder why people like Brian Tracy are still out there at almost 80 years old? How has he been out there for 45 years? Because he's really good. That's why. And he knows the business like the back of his hand. Matter of fact, I've known Brian for 25 years. He's literally one of the best business people in this business. He's up there in the top 5. There's no question about it. Okay, Tony Robbins been around a long time. He's another one. Bill Gove was still in the business when he was almost 90 years old. He practically died on stage. Zig Ziglar, they were wheeling Zig Ziglar on the stage in a wheelchair at the end, right? Why was he still popular? Because he understood the business. He knew how to do it. All these people are very, very good at this business. They have years and years, decades of experience. You go work for someone like that. Well, I worked for Bill Gove. He'll teach you every nook and cranny of this business. I know every backstory on every speaker alive in this business and half of them that are dead because Bill Gove was the father of the industry. He told me I knew all the dishonest ones. I knew the good ones, the bad ones in between. I still do. Right? Once you're inside, you're inside. It's not that big of a group of people. The big group of people is like the acting business. There's 50,000 of them out there chasing their tail like I did the first year as well in 1996, trying to figure out how to pull a rabbit out of a hat. And the truth is you don't. You've got to be ushered in by someone. You have to get the inside information by someone. If you think you're going to start this business and just go cold right into it, you're living in Disneyland. Don't waste years and years of your life. I've seen presidents of corporations, billion-dollar companies, I'm not exaggerating, these are my clients, that have tried to do what we do in the speaking business and failed. I could not run a billion-dollar company. I don't have that kind of talent. They did, and they failed in this business. So it's not as easy as all these charlatans make it sound. Don't believe, you just get on stages and money just gets thrown at you. It's bullshit. I'm sorry to say it that way. Shouldn't probably say it on YouTube, but it is. Don't believe it, okay? This is the real world. Right? So go work for another speaker, learn the business for at least a couple, 2 or 3 years, and then you'll come out with your program. You'll know what to do, what not to do, who to work with, who not to work with, just like Bill Gove taught me. And then, just like me, for the next 25, 35, 45 years of your life, you can enjoy this business, speak all over the world, make plenty of money, plenty of friends, and help a ton of people. That, my friends, in my opinion, is the good life. Go do it.